Migration in Australia became question mark since 1 year. There was a lot of decisions which were not up to standards. Even not industries were admitting, students were telling, universities were telling, and Australian governments, which is basically Labour government, first time in the media admitted that we done little silly mistakes in the immigration as compared to previous migration in the previous government. This admission, this confession is a very good sign. These are European countries or developed countries like Australia. When they do little mistakes, they admit. Otherwise, in developing countries, this concept of admitting mistake is almost you will not find. Their minister, talking to media, he told that we did little mistakes in migration, but he was not telling about student visas. He was not telling about skilled worker visas. He was not telling about overall immigration system. He told upon tourist visa, we did little silly mistake, and he was talking that tourist technically decreased in Australia in overrain, and the reason is telling that because of Gaza and Israel Palestine, we controlled tourist to for terrorists, so that terrorists we prevent our country from the terrorists. But on the other side, we significantly reduced the number of the tourists. We should have been made some other plan, second plan, so that tourists also keep coming and threats to the country also could be saved. So technically we were not able to handle tourism industry in Australia. But I think, in my opinion, they should have been admitted also student visas, in which many visas were being refused, which should have been given to the genuine students. Like Australian universities are claiming that our students were refused by immigration system. Similarly, some skilled workers programs need to be modified. They were more strict for overseas, and there were some genuine workers which were required by genuine companies, and they wanted to invite overseas workers, but unfortunately due to some restrictions from immigration department and due to some rules of immigration department, they were not able to join the companies, and their programs were not being modified, which were very chronic. Canadian immigration system were little bit improving these days. These both system, immigration system of Australia, immigration system of Canada, are the exemplary system for all countries, and all countries follow Canadian immigration. Like currently Portugal minister spoke that we will immigrate the candidates from the other European countries, from the other parts of the world only when any person will get 40 points. I think this is a Canadian immigration system. Similarly, Australian immigration system is also point based system, and very effective to control a non genuine people. And of course student visas were not being allowed to the genuine people. Those were little a bit negative sign by this government. Labor stopped a lot of genuine people visas. I am not talking about non-genuine visas. If the people are not genuine, that should have been stopped. And I am the person who are talking again and again that student visa processing of Australia need to be modified. Of course, GTE to GST conversion was very good, and that was very positive. But I don't think now currently officers are taking face-to-face interview. If they are not able to come to their countries, definitely this is very difficult. Officers are sitting in Australia, in Adelaide, and the embassies are situated in the countries, and normally interviews are not being conducted. It's better officer at least talk with student directly face to face online. He will be able to get that is genuine or non-genuine. Other method is that universities have very good source of conversation with the students, and they already told immigration system over interviews are very nice. And when we are doing interview with the students, we are confirming he is a genuine person, we are confirming his bank statement, we are confirming his educational academic portfolio, and of course we are confirming his caliber, that he is able to do our degree or he will leave the college. That's the main point. If the universities, who are the main stakeholders of education, if they are ready to give admission to the students and they think they are genuine and they will complete the degree and they are giving guarantee, I don't think immigration system must refuse, and it was not. It was not in the past. It never happened in the past that Australian immigration system was refusing application of the universities. It happened first time in the history. Therefore, I think admittance or confession of the labor's or immigration over immigration system was not good in our reign, and they were admitting at least tourist visas. At least they admitted up to tourist visas. Might be my opinion is that in coming days they come up to student visas as well, work visa as well, and they may tell that over decisions, over some steps were not up to the mark. And this is the time to overcome those stops and to nullify those stops and to announce some significant for significant announcement regarding Australian immigration, and that announcement must be in reference to the deserving people, the deserving students, the deserving skilled workers, and some deserving skilled workers are able to work in Australia very successfully. And companies are already telling we lack professional people, we lack professional laborers to construct houses. Housing crisis becoming more popular in Australia. And now in coming days, if I am watching a crisis in any country, that is housing crisis, especially in Australia. So Australia now has to plan. They did not plan better. Migrants, if they are coming in some numbers, they will not occupy the houses. That's they are not the main root cause of housing crisis. At this stance was developed in the era of the laborers, and now laborers are thinking that little of it thinking that they were wrong. Their students, even numbers of the students now currently very less. They are more capping international students by a bill. I think first step could be to stoppage of that bill, which is going to be presented in the coming days, and this bill will reduce more students. Many private colleges will close, many universities employees will lose job, almost 40,000 people. Universities are also crying that we need good genuine students to occupy the financial status as well. And as we are university mean we provide international education degrees, international education the degrees, and we have to provide education to international students. And therefore if we will not admit international students, it means that our universities will lose our ranks in all over the world. Australia being very famous for international education. Similarly, skilled worker visa, some modifications are required. Some changes which were done in the past were not up to the mark. People are not up to the mark, and the people who entered Australia, they were not up to the mark. Some very genuine, deserving people were not able to get their immigration due to some restrictions and new rules. I think all new rules must be reviewed, especially students and skilled visa, and of course tourist visa. Labor's already admitted tourist visa mistakes. Thank you.